Here in Matthews, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte. We're on the southeast side. This is a Carolina Weather Group severe weather update. It's about 3:45 now on this Sunday, it's the 9th, right? Or the 11th. It's the 11th. And you might be able to hear this little thunder rolling through our area here. I also want to say up front, I've never used the YouTube app before to go live through what they are calling their screencast mode. I think it's made to like screen share video games, but you and I are cut from the same cloth. Our video games are radar scope. So here we are right now watching some storms moving through the Carolinas. Can I slide my face? Like I said, we're going to learn this as we go. Oh, I could totally slide my face. I'm going to put my face right there, I guess. Let's take a look what we got here on the radar. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. These are storms that did produce some severe weather, some severe thunderstorms as they move through the Columbia area. We do have a live stream right now on our YouTube channel. Matter of fact, we have two going. One is a live DOT camera looking near Columbia at the continued thunderstorms there. The other one is a regional view of radar, sky cams, and the like. But let's take you in right here to look at this severe thunderstorm warning issued by the National Weather Service out of Columbia. This is for northwestern Lee County, south central Chesterfield County, and southeastern Kershaw County. Until 4:15, a severe thunderstorm was located over Gooddale State Park, or about 7 miles northeast of Camden, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. The primary threat is 60-mile-per-hour winds, which is pretty much what we're looking at today. We haven't seen a whole lot of hail so far. We haven't seen anything really in the likes of tornadoes, but we are watching for 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's the threshold at which a thunderstorm will get a National Weather Service issued severe thunderstorm warning. Expect damage to trees and power lines. You can see the locations there on your screen where this will be near. I've also noticed this, and I don't know this for a fact. I might have to reach out to the Weather Service to find out, but in addition to the cities and the parks and things, I'm also starting to notice that interstates are listed on these. I don't know if this is a National Weather Service Columbia thing or if this is a new initiative nationwide, but it does say that this thunderstorm will be near Interstate 20 in South Carolina between mile markers 101 and 107, which are also, of course, then the same as the exit numbers. So you can see that on our screen right here. And we're going to go dual panel, so we're going to look at the same storm. You have rain on the top part of your screen. You have wind on the bottom part of your screen. And so if we use radar scope, we can actually look here. We're seeing at least 50-mile-per-hour winds picked up by radar. Again, we're not seeing anything in the likes of rotation. That would be green and reds together. Yes, there's a little faint green, but we'd be looking at pretty dominant green, pretty dominant red next to each other if we were looking for tornadoes. Again, this is just damaging wind, but I shouldn't say just damaging wind because wind, whether it's rotating or coming at you in a thunderstorm, can still produce damage. In case you're curious, Hartsville here has a special weather statement. That means that there's the chance that weather there might be strong, say maybe in the neighborhood of 40-mile-per-hour winds, but not necessarily 60, which constitutes a severe thunderstorm warning. That is subject to change. I believe we had another warning that was pretty close. So if you have interest, say, in Allendale, Hampton, there is a thunderstorm that is still off right now on the Georgia side of things. Let's switch to the National Weather Service. They call it the Charleston radar, although it's not really in Charleston. And you can see here that we have some, again, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is now going to be coming up on the state line in the next few minutes, so we'll wait to see if that gets extended out. All right, I've been talking here for a long minute. I think if I poke around on the screen, and like I said, we're learning this together here for the first time, there's some way for me to see chat, because I imagine somebody right now is chatting at me, and I don't see it. I'm trying to see chat. I see my face in the bottom left-hand corner. I presume that's where you see my face. We'll find out. We'll find out together. Elsewhere across the area, so like in Orangeburg, for instance, all of this in here is strong thunderstorm. It has the potential to be upgraded to a severe thunderstorm. We are watching, like in Barnwell right now, for instance. If I push in, we do some estimated winds here from the radar, 50 mile per hour is pretty close to severe thunderstorm threshold. Also, let's take a look at this. Take a look at the winds here. Just to the west of Allendale, 45, 48 miles an hour, pretty close to that threshold for severe thunderstorm warning. Now, again, you'll notice we have lots of lightning with lots of thunder, and lightning is dangerous, but is not a criteria for severe thunderstorm warning. So I say that because if you're in a place like Orangeburg, at a baseball game, outside someplace, don't wait for the thunderstorm warning to come out before seeking shelter. If you hear thunder. If you see lightning off in the distance, it's time to go ahead and seek shelter. I'm going to switch back to the Columbia radar. I want to get another perspective here on some of these storms. Right, we are starting to see, I wouldn't call it rotation, but I'm also watching for the potential of whether or not we might have any straight line winds or any downbursts, that sort of thing here associated as some of these storms roll on through. So, you know, in the last frame or so, let's see if I just kind of toggle back and forth here. This is just outside Bamberg. You can kind of see we do have greens and reds together, but because they're almost kind of parallel, I would wonder a little bit if that was just kind of a downburst from the storm. Downburst being winds that are literally just pushed down from the storm and then hit the ground and kind of go out at a 360 degree, kind of like when you drop a pebble into water. So we'll keep an eye on that. Same thing towards Orangeburg. I don't know that I see anything necessarily wrapped up like a tornado, but you do have kind of winds there that are trying to push apart from each other. So we'll keep a close eye on that. I know the National Weather Service is keeping a close eye. And if I zoom all the way out, matter of fact, let me go single panel for just a second. I want to kind of show you that through the remainder of this afternoon and tomorrow, you can see we've got right on in here a line and another line in here. These are the tiers from the Severe Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma, the different tiers of severe weather. And so for the remainder of tonight, we're kind of just on the outskirts of this is like a bullseye where this is the outer ring, the next ring, so on and so forth. So that green, everything in here is what we would call marginal risk, tier 1 out of 5. Now, it's a little confusing because, yes, we have one round of storms here and there's another round back behind it. And then during those two rounds, as we get closer to that second round, say coming into the 77 corridor at about 4 o'clock in the morning, we'll actually switch to the next day's outlook and we will remain in marginal, but that marginal will slide out to cover more of eastern Carolinas. It's a little confusing because the weather is happening right at that turnover. There's not really a blend between. It kind of jumps just between today and tomorrow, and the today and the tomorrow doesn't happen at midnight. Super confusing, I know, but either way, for the most part, from now through the rest of Sunday night into tomorrow, we're watching for a marginal chance, 1 out of 5, for severe weather, most of which is going to be in the form of severe thunderstorms with wind. You can kind of see as we go back out, say, towards Nashville, other portions of Tennessee here, this is some of that energy that's going to come through during the overnight hours. And part of the question will be exactly when it gets here and how much energy is left in the atmosphere, because luckily it's coming through in the middle of the night, so it'll be working with less energy than if it was coming through, say, in the middle of the afternoon when the sun was out, making things very unstable. But we will be asleep, so it's a good night to have multiple ways to get weather warnings, because if you're asleep, you may want to be alerted to damaging wind potentials that are coming on. I'm sitting in my backyard, and we took in like an umbrella and a tent earlier today in anticipation that some of this could be coming on through. Matter of fact, you might be able to hear some of the rain right now that's moving through the greater Charlotte area. Pretty steady, moderate. The lightning seems to be calming down a little bit. You can see our terminal Doppler radar is currently offline. It's gone red here probably since I started the stream. I don't think it was like that before. We did have an event in Uptown today called Taste of Charlotte. And I know Brad Panovich, chief meteorologist at WCNC in Charlotte, tweeted out that the emergency managers were trying to get people ahead of time to kind of clear out and seek shelter from that street festival that was happening there in Uptown, so that people weren't around all the tents and people weren't outside without proper shelter. Even though we didn't have severe weather in Charlotte, they wanted people to be proactive to seek shelter. So again, right now we have only one severe thunderstorm warning. It is going to go for another 21 minutes for McBee. It's going to come to you in the next few minutes. I would say even Hartsville, keep an eye on this. And we'll also watch some of the storms, St. Matthews, Orangeburg, Barnwell, Allendale, kind of a strong thunderstorm moving down the I-26 corridor towards the I-95 corridor. Again, another chance of storms this afternoon or later this evening. And we have got 2 streams for you right now on the Carolina Weather Group YouTube channel, that webcam, that DOT camera in Columbia, and also one rotating at radars and sky cams across the Carolinas. We'll be back if, in the off chance we got a tornado warning or something, we'll jump back on, let you know about it. Sorry if you guys have been asking me questions. I'm experimenting with this. Maybe if I turn my notifications back on? You get to read all my notifications now. Hopefully there's nothing great in here. There's really not. But we did get this post from National Weather Service Columbia Skywarn Facebook group. They're looking for any severe weather reports, including downed trees, damage to structures or buildings, power lines, any hail, strong measured winds. Thank you all in advance. So if you do know of anything like that, you can send it to them if you're part of their Facebook group, or you can tweet at them, or you can tweet hashtag SCWX or NCWX in North Carolina. All right, apologies. I'll try to reply to comments. I don't know why they didn't pop up on the screen. But thanks for joining me for this little experimental live stream using the built-in YouTube app. If you like it, we'll try to do more of it. Talk to you later.